What's up, everybody? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? Get this thing started. Y'all excited? What's up, everybody? What's up? Get my guys in here.
Yeah.
What's up, Dino?
We litty.
You got a red cup?
Yeah, man. It's Sisters Wednesday, man. You know,
That's crazy.
I start early, you feel me?
No, that's right. I know that's right. Yo, am I turned where is?
Yeah, you sideways, bro. I don't know what's going on, but you sideways.
That's crazy. Wow, that's
Now you upside down. What are you doing?
man, I don't know.
Talking about somebody said Devale high. Why y'all always say I'm high? I don't be high all the time. I'm high off life, okay? I'm living my life. You know what I'm saying?
Like it's golden.
I am sipping on something in this cup though.
I'm just let y'all know one thing. I wonder who else supposed to be in here. Let me see.
What's up, y'all? I see everybody saying what's up to y'all. What's up, y'all? We appreciate y'all. Who ready for Sisters Wednesday?
Sisters Wednesday.
My girls hold me down.
Yeah, it's good.
You heard the vibrato. You heard it, right?
100%.
Yeah. You did it, man.
You're the best singer I know.
I be trying to tell people sometimes like I pull down my vocals because I don't want the people around me
Exactly.
to feel
You do so many other things, like it would just be too much to be.
You know what I'm saying? So sometimes I sing off key on purpose to make other people feel comfortable, just so y'all know.
Yeah, I understand because you're so great at singing.
That's the only part of the song I can sing. My girls hold me down.
It's a good song.
It is.
It's a good song. They done made me responsible for letting people in here, and let me tell you what they've done with that. A mistake.
Brian have no clue what he doing.
There they go.
No, ever.
No clue.
What up? What up?
Hey.
Uh-oh. We got some
Anthony B. Dalton.
Yo.
Anthony B. Dalton.
There we
Trinity.
go. Okay, so at this point, I'm the only one that's not
Turn your phone, B.
straight. Wow, that's crazy.
You can't. It can't be
vertical.
Horizontal. It got to be.
Hold on one second.
While I'm trying to be on live with y'all, Crystal trying to FaceTime me right now.
That's crazy.
Shout out to all my people watching Zatima. I see y'all in the comments saying y'all love Zatima. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Everybody right shut up except Brian. Thank you.
One thing on live, people gonna let you know when you mess up.
They be like,
hey,
Brian,
you sideways. Brian, you're sideways.
Your Wi-Fi messed up.
Wi-Fi.
Oh my gosh. Where did Trinity go?
He got pissed and left.
He got pissed. He got upset because my thing.
He got mad. Trinity said, I ain't with this, man.
Mm-hmm. You know, like for stuff to be indecent and in order. Guys, let me just say this. It's gonna be like this.
Get it?
You just gonna be sideways?
100%.
You can't just turn your phone?
Well, so I can, but the apparatus on the back is kind of limiting my. It's something I would need to do.
Yeah, because
need
this
to
is
have
ghetto.
done before.
Yeah, this is ghetto. Extremely ghetto.
Ghetto. What's that?
Your phone right now.
That's crazy. And my favorite is Anthony, like trying to do it too, but his shit is like distorted. So it's like.
And he was talking about your Wi-Fi.
That's crazy.
Now everybody gonna start adjusting their stuff
right now. Like,
he said request
Where's
him again.
Trinity?
He said he requested again.
yeah, request him again.
Oh my God, man.
There you go. Wow. So, what y'all plans for tonight, man? To watch Sisters Wednesday.
I'm gonna give me a red cup.
You better get you a red cup.
What
There you go,
up?
Trinity. What's up,
Yo,
my guy?
what's good,
Ladies,
fellas?
Trinity
fellas?
Whiteside.
What's happening?
What's
All the
good,
people
man?
saying, "Hey, Calvin," they love you, Calvin. Somebody say, "Raise your hand if you light skinned."
Not me. Call me Western. All right.
Western European. Fuck.
Oh man.
Messed up.
Guys, we thank you so much for continuing to support our show, and we're so grateful. I'm sideways, but the Lord is good, because I know that most of you guys wouldn't be here if it wasn't for me being on the live. So I know that you guys will accept me in any form. I am so excited about season 5. How y'all feeling about season 5, guys?
We already in season 5.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm excited.
That's crazy.
That's season 5.
It seems like we just premiered season 1 not too long ago, and now
we did
season 5 is it.
Yeah,
That's nothing but God, man.
Nothing but God. Let's just get this thing started off with your favorite moment from season 4.
My favorite moment from season 4 would have to be when I was in the room with the white lady, and she kept trying to get me to have sex with her. And Zach was like, "Yo, I ain't with this." Like, and she was like trying to threaten Zach with jail time. And Zach was like, "I done been to jail. Like, they wear stuff like what you got on in jail. I'm not concerned about that." Like, that to me was my favorite moment, because we see Zach at like the pinnacle of almost going back to jail, and he just still finds humor in it. I love it.
One thing about Zach, he gonna be in jail.
He going to jail.
Yeah.
What about you, Whiteside?
Oh man, my favorite scene, my favorite moment from season 4 would have to be Preston and Zach together. Preston, quote unquote, helping Zach, move in and set up his new spot when he's really there to ask for advice with regards to Danny. And it's always comical because they're from 2 different walks of the earth. So when they get together, it's nothing but humor, just based on fan reaction alone. That scene, along with the scene with Zach coming to Danny's, and then talking about the R&B, has been one of the most talked about with regards to Preston and some of the scenes he's been in. But what people don't get to see is some of the behind the scenes and some of the things that don't make the final cut with me and Devale. Because once one of us goes off script, you can cancel it. It's a wrap. But we're going to keep going until Tyler yells cut. So that's definitely my most memorable moment.
And Dalton.
I'd say probably the drunk scene. Coming in with Q and talking to Q, and then the reaction that everybody thought that Q was going to sleep with me, and I ended up being in your room. And because Tyler, the way he directed that, he was wanting me to move a certain way, and I'm like, "Hey, man, I'm not." Hey, he was like, "Nah, just okay. Put your head like closer to it." I'm like, "Hey, man, yeah, I'm good. I'm good."
I remember that. My favorite moment has to be hands down, and I think it's a lot of people's favorite, like Maurice moment from this season. Whenever Calvin was trying to like hook Maurice up with the dude, Laz, and he's like, "What are we gonna do? Bump cats in this the hand thing."
Sorry.
What's up, Roy?
Just say what's up and then
Bro.
What up, Jack?
Yo, what up?
Jack,
All right.
what kind of truancy you got? They on fall break.
Sorry, guys. Sorry. Hey, y'all see me at work. Say what's up. Say what's
Hey,
up.
look, they said it's a fellas brothers
All the
live,
brothers
and
live.
they part of the fam, so they had to join.
He ready for
Hey,
football.
my
You see
brother.
that? All right, say bye. Say bye, and then y'all can go.
All right, later.
Bye.
Bye.
We're staying.
Yo, my cup empty. Grab me a
The camera. Look at the camera.
grab me a. Grab me, right? All right. Cairo, get out of here, boy. Get my belt. Sorry, guys. Just
Yeah, back to
they all go upstairs. Hey, I'm gonna take my belt off.
I was about to say, you got sweat.
He has on sweatpants. I know he got on sweat.
All you gotta do,
he got.
say you gonna grab the belt. Them kids running out of here.
Just a proverbial belt.
My bad. You good?
Yeah, no, back to bumping cats. And so,
Okay.
Yo.
so that was my favorite part.
Oh, this part.
Yeah, with the cats. The kids
Yes.
to bumping cats.
Yes.
Yeah, that was my favorite moment. My favorite moment. You know, what people don't, just like what Trinity said, like that bumping cats thing, like me doing that thing,
It did.
went on for like 5 minutes. Like I kept doing it. We were filming that thing.
And all I can say is Maurice.
It was a whole
Maurice.
thing.
And I just kept Maurice.
It was just super.
Yeah.
And Tyler was dying. Like he was dying. It was crazy.
So this is the funny part about that scene, right? Remember, our house is right next to where y'all film. So we be on the other side of the studio listening. And I kid you not, I was like, what is going on over there? All that damn clapping. It was between that and the pot scene, remember? Bing, bing, bing. I was like, what?
Which I think that we filmed going crazy and sweating. That's what I be doing. Sweating, going crazy.
Y'all ain't see that.
Oh, one thing about it
Midday
is, guys,
drinking,
Devale
baby.
is just living proof.
It was
Devale
water.
is living proof that rich and famous people are regular people. Like he is living proof.
It was water, guys.
We'll see how long this live goes to see how much.
Yeah.
I know BT about to jump on this live.
We about to get text messages. Hey, y'all might want to shut it down right now.
Yeah.
Or they just gonna get on like drinking too. It just depends on what they
You're right.
We got you.
Oh my gosh.
The funniest or most disrespectful thing that you've done on the show.
The funniest and most disrespectful?
Or funniest or disrespectful.
Wow.
Oh, the spin.
The funniest.
The punch. The spin. Yeah. The spin.
The spin.
Yeah, the spin. I mean, you gotta put that.
Yeah.
And what's crazy is I didn't expect that thing to go viral. Like I really didn't, because like Brian, you were there. We were like working it, me and Sky were working it, and the stunt coordinator had it totally different from what it ended up being. It was like really like, okay, you get one off, he gets one off, then we start tussling. Then Tyler was like, hey, how many times, because this is a serious scene. We're reading it like it's serious. It read serious.
I was there.
And he was like, how many times can you spin around? And I was like, I guess as many times as you need me to. And so he was like, yeah, but I need you to give a little, like, and I was like, what? I was like, all right. So when we did it like, I think that next tape, and when he throws the punch, I just do this spin. It just came from nowhere. And I think me and Brian both let out that. Everybody asked, who let out that noise? I think we both let it out at the same time. Like the, oh no, because no,
Brian said,
like he was like, oh my God,
Brian, like,
no. And then the punch happened. And so I'm on my back away from the cameras. But all I hear is like Tyler and everybody trying not to laugh. And I'm just trying not to laugh either. So I say the punch.
Anthony, own your scream, bro. Don't try to put that scream on Brian Joy Jr. That you was going with
bro,
no.
You
was going with the win fabulous.
No,
and you
no, I'll
like a
take
man.
it, but I don't remember saying, oh no, because if you hear it, you hear, oh, I don't know if he screamed or he just said, oh my God, like that.
Well, I'll be happy to correct.
Let's talk around him.
Yeah, I'm here. So Maurice did say, like, pretending that he cared about y'all fighting. It was really like, y'all stop! Oh my God, this your job, be
Okay.
here. It was that. What you said was, oh. Not to be confused with words.
Right.
But let me tell you what you did, Anthony. A brilliant job at Swan Lake. And you know, I was there, and so the question was the most funny or the most disrespectful. Which one do you think that was? Was it more funny or more disrespectful?
What was disrespectful was him trying to put that scream off on you, Brian. That's what's
how embarrassing.
No, you need to own that.
Let me tell you what Maurice can do: scream on his own.
No, I own it.
Right.
But we gotta go back and look at listen to the footage.
That's crazy, because now it's the Real Housewives.
I know, right? The reunion special. We about to fight on here.
What about you, Devale?
I would have to say I'm gonna go all the way back to season 1 when I threw the keys at Karen and it busted in the forehead. Black eye. I threw the keys. I didn't mean to throw the keys at her. I meant to throw the keys, and in frustration, the keys just said, and then it was a wrap. So I would say that was the most disrespectful, but it was borderline funny because nobody expected them keys to come that way. So I would say that would have to be that would be it.
I'm gonna be honest. I had to leave the screen because I do not condone abuse or like the
at all.
Like, but what I will say is, what was funny, and let me be clear, what was funny is not that she got hit. It was the ricochet of the key off of them. Now, why would those keys ricochet like that off their head? Now, why would you have them keys bounce like a trampoline off that girl head?
So this is what's funny about that, right? The keys was rubber. They were rubber keys. And Ebony, if y'all don't know Ebony Obsidian don't play no games.
Not one.
So when we read that, the first thing she said was, Tyler, nobody throwing keys at me. It's you can do what you want to do, but ain't nobody throwing no keys at me.
Gotta do.
That's just like
he gonna tell people not to do what they got to do. So Tyler was just like, all right, well, listen, the keys are rubber. All right, he's not gonna throw them at you. So she was like, anywhere near me. He's not throwing them anywhere near me. So I threw the keys in a completely different direction. Tyler had to move like right outside the screen and kind of loft the rubber keys at Ebony. And because they were rubber and he like lofted them, it bounced so awkwardly. And it was just like, but here's the funny part though, and this is part of the genius. Domestic violence is never funny.
Nope.
But when you can kind of make something comical out of something that's serious so people can digest it and realize that, no, this is really what's happening. That's the power of storytelling, right? The power of storytelling is to kind of make people laugh, but then think like, oh yeah, that was funny, but realistically it's not funny. And people really go through that. So it's kind of genius in the way it was written and the way it played out, because people could empathize with the two characters, but still get a hearty laugh. So,
you know, that's also, I want to piggyback on that because I think that it's also important to recognize the significance of that range of emotion in Black storytelling. Like, you know, especially because that's just the journey of Black people. Like, we have to make the best of what we have. It's always been that. And so even in storytelling, it's like that. It's like, sure, those type of things happen. Mistakes happen, especially in the heat of the moment. But it's something that you can always find humor in, especially with that kind of stuff. Like, it helps to relate to, you know what I mean? It's just also like, I threw the keys, you know, and it hit her own mistake. You know, like anything like that. It's just, so it's such a beautifully painful, but like also joyous thing, Black storytelling. So thank you for doing that. Ladies and gentlemen, Ellis with the key throwing. What about you, Trent?
Oh man, I gotta say the funniest was what I had mentioned earlier with me and Devale in reference to the whole R and the B scene. What makes that scene so great to me is that me and Devale, because everybody's schedule is so hectic, we really didn't get to rehearse much at all. And what we had an understanding, look, if I go here, just go with me and we'll make it work. And so 90% of that scene was me and Devale bantering back and forth like a tennis match. And so what was in the script was R and the B. And from that point, Devale just goes, okay, so R and the B. So which one you like, the R or the B? I'm like, okay, he's gonna go that with it. So I'm like, okay, well, if you gotta force me, I guess I'll take both if I have to. And we just go back and forth from there. And what stands out to me so much about that is Trinity in real life is R&B, hip hop, soul, neo soul. And so anytime I'm playing music on any type of social media, I always get the comments, hey, that's not R and the B. That don't sound like R and the B to me. So that's kind of stuck with me to this day. And that was all the way back in like season 2, I believe. And so that one definitely stands out to me as Preston's funniest scene.
You know, I will say disrespect. I'm gonna go with disrespect because Maurice does so many funny things, but Maurice is disrespectful. Like the stuff that Maurice says to people, always calling anybody girl or bitch. Like anybody.
Or everybody.
Poor
Anybody.
Calvin.
Anybody.
Poor Calvin. You know, I just want to apologize on behalf of Maurice to you. Because the things that he says to you, and poor Sabrina, you know, Maurice be outside with he just says anything. And so
he do.
You know, I feel like it's funny, but it's not very respectful. And if Maurice was talking to me, wow, could you imagine like if Maurice was like in the real world talking to people like that?
I mean, more than likely, but this one thing I will say about Maurice. Maurice handles his business in the bank with other people completely differently. There's only a certain amount of people in your life you can speak to with that level of disrespect and it's still taking his love, right? And I think that's what's great even about the show. Maurice and Calvin have this relationship, and it's a relationship that we don't see too often, where you have a homosexual Black man and a heterosexual Black man, and they're allowed to exist in a space where they don't have to pull punches and they can be themselves in truth. And you can watch them and they still be friends. And no one has to walk on eggshells. I think it's dope because you don't get a chance to see that too often.
That's true. I agree with that. I think that it's just the duality of so many relationships, even the relationship with you and Rodeo and with, you know, with everybody, with Kevin and Cheeto's characters. Like, you get to see people from all walks of life, women and Black men from all walks of life, just living in the same place. And that happens in real life, but we don't see it on television for whatever reason. Black people just all have to be the same kind of person to be on a show together for whatever reason.
We know what that reason is, right? Because the stories are typically not written by us.
Exactly.
Yes.
You know, so when they pick us, they pick a monolithic version that can be acceptable by all the other cultures, leaving out all the different diaspora of Blackness.
That's
Trinity is Black. People keep saying, "Oh, he a white boy that got sold." Trinity's Black. Y'all don't know he has a black. He has a black. Like Trinity's Black. Like it gets me, yo, that white boy really be acting like a Black. I'm like, Trinity's Black, guys. Like, and they like, "You really?" I'm like, yes, Trinity's Black.
He said, "Thank you."
No, Trinity. I think Trinity. should dispel this and tell people exactly how you are black, please.
Yes, my father is African American. My real biological father is African American. That is what I identify. It's not something that I chose. I didn't grow up and say, you know, I'm gonna choose to gravitate towards my African American ethnicity. It's something you feel, you know, it's
Mhm.
something that happens naturally. And that was what happened for me. It was just like, I am a black man, no matter what my skin tone looks like.
Mm-hmm.
What I lack in melanin, I make up for in soul.
Talk
So,
about it.
you know.
Talk about it, Trinity. We about to change the name to Trinity Black Side.
Yeah,
That's
for real.
It's like people
Black
didn't
side.
believe you until you posted a throwback pic of you and your dad. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn,
Yeah,
you took a
yeah,
picture?
exactly.
I'm gonna be
You have
honest.
to though.
I'm gonna be
Yeah.
honest. I knew Trinity was black when I first met him because I saw
Oh,
his shoes.
yeah.
Oh, he had them ones on. He had them ones on.
I saw his shoes, and then about the next season, somebody got on his nerves, and that's when I really knew.
Hey.
Oh, you want me to tell that story? It's story time. Story time. I'm explaining to y'all how close the guys are in this show. Okay. This was season 2. We just came back from the pandemic. Well, the pandemic was still happening, but we finally got a chance to film. But because of that, we all had to be separated. So everyone was given a house at the studio, and you couldn't leave your house unless you were given specific orders, because the studio was very adamant about keeping COVID out so that we can continue to film. One of the day players was a very ambitious young man, and I don't think well, I know he never performed during a pandemic, but he wanted to rehearse. And at the time, I was dealing with trying to do 15 to 16 scenes a day. And I told him, you know, I would get to you. And he felt like I was trying to kind of put him to the side. So he reached out to some executive and said, yo, Devale, I don't want to do this and da-da-da-da-da. So I got mad, like, dang, I'm trying to get with you, brother. And you want to tell on me? Like, that's what you want to tell on me. So now I'm like, fine, let me just try to find some space for this young brother. So me and Cheeto at the time were roommates. So I invite the dude over. The dude comes over to rehearse, and he's like, what is he here for? And I'm like, he lives here. This is our house. This is my roommate. Oh, I see what this is. I'm like, what do you see what this is? He's just like, y'all trying to haze me, like y'all trying to. And I'm like, no, dude. He's like, why can't we go rehearse outside? I said, it's July in Atlanta. It's 1,000 degrees outside. I want to be in the air condition, bro. So he was like,
a day player, a day player.
So I was like,
we do.
I was like,
we love day players.
Yes. But I don't think he understood. First of all, if you don't understand the process of being at Tyler Perry Studios, it's not like any other place where you only film 3 to 4 scenes a day. You know, we film a lot, so sometimes the time is just not there. So I think he took exception to that, which I can understand since he's not used to it. So I told my guys what happened. Cheeto was like livid. Cheeto was like, yo, is this dude serious? I'll meet you on set. So we were having a fun joke about it, right? The next day we coming from lunch. I see the dude outside. We have a conversation. I explain him how the process goes. He's like, oh, I get it. So I said, well, since you want to rehearse and we right here outside, let's start rehearsing. In the scene, he plays a police officer who's supposed to hem Zach up. So he's getting into his method acting, and he hems me up outside. All I hear from behind me is, yo, yo, yo. It's Trinity about to take off full speed and take this dude clean out. I think Anthony was there, Brian was there, and I see them holding Trinity back, like, yo, yo, yo. And I was like, what happened? And then Trinity's like, hey, none of that happened. And I was like, no, wait, Trinity, please. We rehearsing the scene. And he was like, man,
Look.
Do it, Devale.
And we all started laughing. And the guy wasn't laughing because he was nervous because it was all 6 of us and it was just him. But Trinity was like, man, I'm going to go ahead and head inside now because I kill somebody.
He had to calm down.
Look.
But that's when I realized I got real brothers on this show, though.
No doubt.
You know, that's when you realize, like, nah, these dudes mess with me heavy because Trinity and everybody else could just be like, oh, shoot, they getting into it and walk away. Trinity was like, nah, that he got Devale like that? No, we going in. So that shows you the type of person Trinity is, man. That's not for nothing. That's all these guys. Like, I know if Anthony would have seen me, Brian would have seen me, Cheeto, it would have been on and popping. You know, we stick together, you know?
Yeah.
But that's like the real love aspect of it. Anybody who knows me knows that I actually genuinely love people. I'm gonna rock with them no matter the scenario, no matter the situation. If I see it's gonna be drama or it's gonna be a problem or it's gonna get physical, it's gonna be straight action, and we can talk about it afterwards.
He not playing either.
At all, guys. He's not playing at all. And the funny thing is, of all of us, Trinity is probably the most calm.
Yes.
Until he's not.
I'm about to say, the most calm until he's not.
Until he's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. You know, it's something really special about what we share off screen, because the show is about the women. The show is about the women. We love that there's a show about these Black women, but you don't get to see the camaraderie of the men as much on the show. But off screen, we are so close. It's actually crazy. I would have I worked in so many. We all have worked on so many different things, and I've never had this type of like fraternity, you know, with any other thing that I've ever worked on in my life. And it's just really cool. It's crazy, and it's still going on too. Nobody's gotten mad at me yet and put me out of the group. I'm the one, y'all. If anybody gonna get kicked out, it'll be me. It'll be me.
You gonna be the first one kicked out of the group?
That's right. I'm the youngest and the most handsome, and so it's just hard. It's hard to
look. See how he snuck that in there?
It's hard to you know, maintain these guys. It's a strong group of guys, and I know that I can always call on anybody if I need them. You know what I mean? For real.
Absolutely, for real.
Yeah, I love y'all, man.
And also, we all have football background. Like that, you know what I'm saying? From everybody on here, Cheeto and Kevin, everybody has like at least college football background.
And some of the girls too.
I'm not co-signing that, ladies.
At all.
That was him. That was sideways. That was sideways.
Yo, let me say this. Now, let me just say this, and I'm gonna just own up to it, because let me just say this. Anybody ever been next to Mignon when she laughing and she push you or something? Anybody ever been hit by Mignon?
You know I've been hit by Mignon.
Okay.
Hit me in my chest. Hit me with a belt.
And how was the surgery?
Hey, look. I was there for that scene. My reaction was a real reaction because it was just out of nowhere. And the next thing I know, I'm laid on the couch like, damn.
Yo.
That wasn't me.
That woman hit me with a belt in scene. Unprovoked. Didn't say, hey, Devale.
She ain't check in
I'm
with
about to hit you with this belt. Just whack out. I was like, you know how you get hit and no sound come out?
Yeah.
I remember when that happened, and Devale was like, we had to ride on a bus, and Devale on the bus like this.
Pissed.
Yeah, Mignon is a strong Black woman.
I know, right? I know.
The next question is about brotherhood, which is so funny because I didn't plan to talk about that, but here we go. It says, how has this show strengthened your relationships with each other off screen? Like different moments that have strengthened. We just talked about the moment with Trinity, but also I want to just say this. We went through a pandemic together, and people don't understand how important other people are until you don't have them. First faces that we were comfortable seeing and felt safe around was each other. Like I had been locked by myself. I don't have a family. I'm not married. I don't have any kids. And I was locked in by myself. And, you know, nobody else is like that. Like y'all, you know, have partners and stuff, but I didn't have anybody. And so when I was able to see people, I was, and I'm not a huggy type. I don't like all that, but I was just like, people, you know, like, and going through that, and people have suffered losses. Like, we are a family. We've been there for losses and celebrations and games and home purchases and all that stuff. Like the different things that we've been able to experience from the beginning of this show and share with each other has built such a bond. And it's pain, it's joy. We celebrate together, we cry together. You know what I mean? Like, and it's just been a beautiful journey. It's crazy, man, that this show has brought so much to us when you think about all the things that we've been through in these 3 years, you know, or 4. How many years has it been? Almost 4 years, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
I would say the thing that has gotten me the most is how we speak, and I think it's important to speak to this on BET, is that as 4 Black men, you know what we discuss the most when we're not together? I mean, when we're not talking about, we talk about finances. We talk about building generational wealth. From the time we started until now, I've had a child. Anthony's had a child. We've bought property. Like we actually sit down on the phone, talk about credit scores, talk about nation building. Like we don't just get together and do what, you know, what everybody thinks Black men do is we get together and we talk about sports and women. No, we talk about, okay, we've made this money. We're in this aspect of our life. What are we going to do next in order to keep building and pushing forward, you know, pushing the narrative forward, especially with the 3 of us have children. All have children, different ages. You know, I've called Trinity at times, like, you know, my son is starting football, you know, and he'll tell me stories about how he worked through this process with his son playing football. You know, me and Anthony talk about, he just had his first son. So me and Anthony will talk about that. Me and Brian talked about when he bought his first property. It's like we actually sit together and talk about how we're going to be better people, not just actors. So that's what most about the
You know, go ahead. No.
Yeah, one of the first things I did, you know, since we're talking finance, is I called up Devale. I was like, yo, Devale, you know, I need some help with, you know, trying to figure these things out from a financial standpoint. I see where you're at. You inspire me. I want to get to a point where you're at. What can you tell me? Bro took the time to sit down, walk me through step by step of how I could get to where I was trying to get to. And I took every bit of his advice, and it got me to the point where I wanted to be. And so that's, you know, lets me know that there's a genuine love amongst all of us. It's not just, you know, oh man, I see him doing that, I don't really care about that, or that don't affect me. Why should I be bothered with that? We will all take the time out to support and help each other. And that's what means the most to me.
Yeah. And we support each other. We support each other's projects too. Like
absolutely,
Brian's had other projects, Anthony, Trinity, and then we find out not only do we post and share, we show up. Like, we go to red carpets. We will show the greatest thing for me that felt good was when I had my podcast with my wife and my castmates bought tickets and showed up. Like people think that you invite people. Sometimes you don't have time to invite people. You look out there in the audience and you like, yo, they just bought tickets and came. Like that's brotherhood right there. When your people show up for you without being invited, that to me is just brotherhood.
It's also, I just want to speak to 2 things. The first thing is, you know, we all have different projects and stuff, and you know, I have a home in Atlanta, and Devale has a home in Atlanta, and Anthony has a home in Atlanta, but Trinity doesn't. And Trinity comes to our shit. Like, come here. Him and his wife will come, and I'm always grateful for that, man, because, you know, and you know, girls will come too, but it's just different here. Like, it's different here because Trinity is going to be there. It's not like, he's not gonna come. He is going to be there, and if he's not there, it's just like, hey, Brian, I was calling to you know I died today, and so I'm not gonna be able to make it. Like this guy shows up, and it's always so special. Not to get like mushy and stuff, but it's hard to find that, man. It's hard to find people, especially when you get to this level. It's just like we could all live in our own worlds and come and work and be okay. We've been on the show for 5 seasons. We make enough money to be okay. Like we can be fine, you know. But that fraternity is something that I know that my life would not be half as good as it is if I didn't have you guys in my like orbit. You know what I'm saying? And in addition to that, when it comes to the financial thing, especially with Devale, like he's just kind of like our money father because he's very rich, and we, you know, I'm gonna be honest with you. When you work in this capacity, when you're an actor, you spend so much time working and auditioning and trying, and then you finally get something, and then that's when the real work starts. Like you want to fit, you want to keep your money, but when you come from most African American men and people come from lower socioeconomic vibration, And so we don't understand what to do with the different tax brackets, what to do with the different amount of monies and the properties and how to sustain wealth and maintain wealth. And so learning these things and the trial and error of it is scary and it's daunting. But I know that I wouldn't have been able to do the things that I've done financially if I didn't have Devale, like, you know, maybe cursing me out sometimes and talking a little hard, but
all the time.
But it's just important. It's important to have that, because I don't have, like, I can speak for myself. I know we all come from different backgrounds. I come from a background where people didn't even own things in my family before me. You know what I mean? And so, and that's nothing wrong. We were just born into this consequence as Black people, but, you know, to obtain wealth, to sustain it and get properties and know how to keep stuff, you know, it's just something that is invaluable information that I've gotten from having a brother in Devale. So thank you for that.
Just reach out.
Yes, absolutely.
Like the text you sent me, what, a couple weeks ago, like, you know, regarding the house. I was just like, that, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't, I didn't, you know, seek him. He just sent the text message like, bro, you got to do this.
Aggressively.
In all fairness, though, right? Because I played in the NFL and I had been through this a decade and a half before, and people did it for me, I feel a fiduciary responsibility to pay it forward. That's the only reason. It's not really because it's like, oh, I make so much more money or I have more. It's because someone helped me. So it's like I have a responsibility to help those around me that I love. Shut up, Brian. Brian, I swear I'm gonna fight you. Can't nobody tell. Every time I see Brian Page, he got on Louis Vuitton, Celine, Dior. He got about 5 Van Cleef bracelets. We trying to go there? We
can, but that doesn't. We can, but for my 5 Van Cleef bracelets, you got 5 kids.
I do got kids. Well, Trinity got mad kids too.
Trinity also got mad unreleased Jordans.
He said you got mad kids.
Hey, and I got
Jordans.
Yeah, I got one in college, so.
Yeah. But, well, you know, what I will say about everybody is I make jokes about Devale, you know, being very rich, because he is, and it's not a joke. But we have all been very blessed. We have all been very blessed. Yes. And I probably would have more Van Cleef bracelets if Devale didn't scream and holler at me.
I do. I be screaming at everybody. I screamed and hollered at. I sent the text out to Ant. I sent the text out to Trinity, because I've also been there where I had money and lost it, you know, and I've lost it doing the right thing, like bought property and stuff. So I just want to see all my people win. Like, I want to be able, like, years from now, when Sisters is done and everyone's like, hey, what happened to the cast of Sisters? I want everybody to look at us and be like, them brothers did what they were supposed to with their money.
Right.
You see them brothers out there, you know, there's no, oh my gosh, it's so sad. No. I want, when they look at us 5 years from now, 10 years from now, they be like, look at them. They open businesses together. They bought property together. Their kids are working out together. Their kids are extending the businesses. That's what I want. That's just all I want for everybody.
You know, I also want to say this, because, you know, so many times when you have these conversations, and I joke a lot, but the truth of the matter is I know that no matter what money any of us make, Devale will always be this person. Like, it's not about the money. It's about him really being in I feel like certain people have certain assignments from God. For me, and I feel like Devale's assignment from God is just to help people. Like, he's just that person. And it's been that from day one, like, for me, for sure. And I think that, you know,
Facts.
We all have our individual relationships or whatever, but I feel like, you know, I look at Devale as a big brother, you know, and I also just don't think that anybody else is as close to Devale as I am.
I knew that was coming. I was like waiting for it. I was waiting.
I was just trying to think about it. And if the guys from Zatima are watching, I just want to say to you too. I'm just
yo, Cam, yo, give me y'all. They coming for you, bro. I knew this was gonna happen too. I knew.
Yeah. They already know. I told them this in person though, but all of them.
Brian told them in person. He was having a moment where he was being real. You know, he was talking to them about working at TPS, and he was getting real in depth. And he was like, I just want to let y'all know this, man. No matter how hard you work, you'll never be as good of friends with Devale as I am. And then he walked away. He didn't even like wait to say like, just kidding. He just walked away. And they were looking at me.
I haven't seen those guys since. I wasn't kidding. That wasn't a joke. So I don't know.
Shout out to Cam and Gibby Eye. That's my guys, Nathan and Tony, who the internet hates them right now because they kind of getting me into some shit on Zatima. But those are my guys too, man.
The internet gonna hate you, ain't it?
Yeah, oh yeah. They getting at all three of us right now. Zach, right now, Twitter does not like Zach on Zatima. Like they just like, how can you do that? Why would you? And I'm just like, first of all, matter of fact, let's talk about this, gentlemen.
Yeah, bring it in.
Let's talk about this. Can we talk a little bit about the hypocrisy on Twitter when it comes to the women's treatment of the men, and then when the men do things in response to what the women have done? For example, I got into a full-fledged argument, right, on Twitter, because this woman said, Rodeo, no, he not right. He taking bad advice from Zach. He should have just been with Danny and not went out with them other girls. I said, hold up. Do y'all forget that Danny had a whole nother man lick her ass? Had a whole nother man get a picture painted of her, and that picture still hanging over her bed that Rodeo got to look at every time he go over there. Like, can we talk about the hypocrisy?
It's a great picture.
You know, it is a great, and that's a shout out to my man John. What's his last name?
Moody.
John Moody's a great artist.
Talented artist. God bless him. Yeah.
But going through Twitter, man, it just seems like the guys can't do anything right, and they will never admit that sometimes the girls be wrong. Can y'all talk about that a little bit, please?
That's a fact. That is a fact. Now, look, there was that guy, the painter, and then there was the other guy.
El Fuego.
Bruh, how many times I gotta walk in and actually catch you with another guy, and then I go on a date and you got an attitude with me, and all I'm doing is going out to eat, but I'm catching you getting something for somebody to eat.
You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying?
Let me just say this, guys. Because, you know, it's just so tricky. Because this is what I think, and this is my opinion, and I love everybody. I believe that whenever a subculture of people, especially inside of the Black culture, has been serially mistreated, then things become hypersensitive. So it means...
Absolutely.
So it means, like, because women have dealt with so much, you know, leading up to this time, that they can kind of get away with doing certain things because men have gotten away with so much for so long.
Well, this is just your comeuppance. Like, you done did so much to women for so long.
Yes.
This is your karma. This is your comeuppance coming back to you. So that's why, you know, it's, I mean, without getting too in depth, you know, go ahead.
So let me ask a question. Serious question.
Yep.
So what you're saying is because women have dealt with so much through the patriarchy, which I agree with, that means to tell me...
Yeah, it's not right. It's just that they
feel.
That's what you're saying. So they feel as if you guys should be able to deal with what we are doing to you now. Mm-hmm. So does that mean that they're absent of all accountability? Because Zach was wrong.
I believe they find validation in the history of the mistreatment of women. Just like when it comes to, and I know nobody didn't want to talk about this, so I'm going to leave after this out of the frame, but just like when it comes to Black men dating white women and Black women dating white men.
Look, he not gonna come back, y'all. He better not bring his sideways ass back here. He better not bring it back.
Yo, why two lightest dudes stay on the line? Y'all dipped out. Me and Trinity just stayed here. Like,
I don't know. I don't know. I will say this, right?
Ain't kinfolk.
All skinfolk ain't kinfolk. Mm-hmm. As we see this, right, with certain people creating T-shirts that negate the progress that we've made, right?
Facts.
wearing them alongside another kinfolk person.
Thank you.
The reason why I say that is to say that just because you date inside your race doesn't mean you're dating the type of person that is going to uplift the race.
Right.
So I have no problem with someone that wants to date outside if that person loves them the right way and loves their culture the right way.
That's right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Agreed.
But my thing is, and I'm gonna leave again. My thing is the backlash that men get, and the like praise that women.
Here you go.
Yeah. I mean, I get what Brian is saying though. Like it seems like it's an issue when the men do it, but nobody says anything when, you know, like Serena and her man, you know, if he loves her and she loves him, hey, it is what it is. You know, love is love no matter what the color.
That's true. That is the truth, and it should be that for everybody. But I think that because of the history of what it looks like for a wealthy and a educated and a well-off black man to not be with a black woman, but instead be with a white woman, and also some of the things that men may have said then, like we're not the same kind of men that were, you know, the men 50 years ago. But I think that we take on the backlash of what has happened, but things are not the same to me. Like
I agree with you, Brian. No, listen, I agree with you, right? The backlash is not the same. But let's be honest, right? Nothing in life is ever always equal. If you exist in a space where you can reap the benefits of the patriarchy as a man, you have to be strong enough to deal with the criticism if that's a choice you make. Just deal with it. You can't always say, well, this ain't fair, this ain't fair. Stuff hasn't been fair for women forever.
That's right.
So it's like, now that something's not fair for you in this moment, you want to throw a hissy fit. Oh, get over it, bro. You made that choice. That's the choice you made. Deal with it. My thing is accountability in the moment in that situation, right? Mm-hmm. So, for example, if you're a woman who's made a poor choice, for example, like Danny, or even like Karen, right? Karen made a poor choice and decided she wanted to call the cops on Zach, even though she didn't know that Zach stole her credit card and got Zach arrested again. Even though Zach was dealing with recidivism and been in and out of prison, that could have sent Zach away for another 20 years. That was a poor choice Karen made in that moment. You got to own that choice. You don't get to say, well, women have dealt with stuff for years, so I call the cops on him. That's not fair, bro. That's just not, like, in those moments, you have to be accountable for the actions you make. Now, if we're talking about women in general, then you can bring up the patriarchy. But if we're talking about one isolated incident, same thing with Danny and Preston, because we're talking right now about the men of sisters. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. If we're talking about with Sabrina and Calvin and the fact that she continues to question sexuality, even though he's proven time and time again that he's not, at some point you have to take accountability for the fact that your choices are part of the reason why this relationship can't keep moving forward.
Questioning it and also perpetuating the rumor and the embarrassment of it.
Yes, that is so true. Not a fact. That's the biggest part. Perpetuating the rumor is even worse than you second guessing.
Because you're feeding into it.
Right.
You're feeding into it. So like if your friends is in your ear telling you, oh, I think he's this, and then he's shown you individually that he is not this, or he's told you, but you still listening to your girls and you still want to keep deep diving into that, like when she set up Calvin with Javier, and trying to see if they could get a threesome going with it, and you look stupid because he's like, yo, I told you I wasn't this way, but you still can't get out of your own head. That's responsibility on you. It's like, it's not my responsibility to change your perception on me. You have to be willing to do the work. You know what I'm saying? And like, it's a lot of hypocrisy, but it's a lot of hypocrisy in these relationships on this show. And it's also just a lot of hypocrisy, like, in the world in general. Doesn't make it right, but it's just.
So I have a question, right? If you guys were writing and in your situation, what would your characters have done differently to change everything that's happening now? Like, for example, and people need to realize this when you watch the show, there has to be conflict, there has to be turmoil, because that's the only way the show continues to go on. So when people say, why are they still going back and forth? It's because that's what creates the drama. That's what creates the tension.
it's also what people really be doing. That's it's what y'all ass be doing.
Because you see yourself or you see somebody that you know in these characters. And sometimes you may see yourself in this character, but you don't want to admit that. So you might be a Sabrina, but you really want to be a Fatima. But it hurts when that mirror gets put up. You know, tell people this all the time. The reason the show is so successful is because it's a mirror being held up to look at the people watching it. So you may say, I'm not homophobic. I'm not homophobic. But then you watch and then you jump on Twitter and then you like, nah, girl, he gay because that's gay. He's doing this. He's doing that.
You know what? No. Bro, you absolutely right? And I'm going to tell you why you're absolutely right? You know how we talk about toxic masculinity all the time, right? Is it not toxic for a woman to say to a man, you're not man enough because you don't act like the men I want you to act like? Is that not toxic?
Well,
that's extremely toxic. And to be honest, that's what happened to Calvin with Sabrina. And that's why I could appreciate the story, because it's a story that we don't hear about often. But
it happens so much.
It does happen a lot. I have some friends that I grew up with who grew up single parent homes, just their mom.
Right.
So they do have feminine tendencies. And all the time it's like, why would he hold his hand like this? Why does he like to cook?
Yeah.
That's not masculine. And it's just, what is not masculine about it? That man loves women, but he likes to cook, clean, and get dressed, and he likes himself clean shaven. What's not masculine about that?
You know,
but before we get to that, y'all got to answer the question. What would y'all change with y'all character that think would have made Calvin's situation better and Rodeo's situation better?
For me, the only thing I took issue with regards to Rodeo is at times when there was conflict or there was, time where there was tension between Danny and Preston, he would leave the situation and leave it unresolved. Whereas myself, being married for 20 years, if there's an issue, regardless of how uncomfortable, regardless of whether my wife is ready to talk about it at the time, I'm like, no, we need to deal with this now. Let's not let it linger. Let's not let it draw out. It has a snowball effect the longer it sits there. So let's handle it now so we can get back to where we were or where we're trying to go. That's the only difference I would have changed. But with Rodeo's situation, it's difficult with Danny because it's like he can't win, because if he leaves, then he's leaving too much. But if he's always there, I need space. You're here too much. This is too much for me. So he's kind of caught between a rock and a hard place.
I will say, though, I appreciate you're taking accountability for the fact that Rodeo didn't communicate well, which I think pushing a conversation forward in any relationship is all about accountability. Right. So I think
honestly,
what about you, Ant?
I've always said this since season 1, I think, and it's nothing against any of the other characters, but we found so much about Calvin in that season 1. We found out his upbringing, his parents, his, everything. And he's always, and I keep saying this, he's always been transparent. He's put the ball in Sabrina's court and said, this is who I am. There were no lies. Calvin hasn't lied one time in all these seasons. He's been the one to be transparent, tell you everything, and the ball's in your court. If you want to roll with it, roll with it. If you can't, let me know. But you can't get mad if I got Shorty in the bedroom with me because you said we're not together. You know what I'm saying? But and the fact that I came over or Calvin's come over to her and said, okay, so we're cool, right? This is not, you don't want to be with me. So you can't say you don't want to be with somebody and then expect y'all to have boyfriend, girlfriend like energy. You know what I'm saying? And the only thing I will say, and he's always taking accountability, but what I will say, the only thing I could probably say he'd apologize for is overreacting when it comes to like the fighting and stuff. Like, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes but he loves hard. So sometimes he has a problem expressing like, the bank situation or bio. You know what I'm saying? But it's only so much somebody can take until they hit that pressure point. And then when that happens, it comes out in different ways. You know, like when he got drunk, called her out of her name. But even that, he's always come back and apologized and owned his own shit. You know what I'm saying? And so I think it's more to do, and I'm not putting, well, I kind of am. It's more to do with Sabrina. You know what I'm saying? Because she got her own bag of shit going on with her, but I think it's more with her, and that's why this narrative of this back and forth keeps going on. It's like, you want me? You don't want me? You think I'm this? You think I'm that? What's up? You know?
Right. No, to be honest, when I watch, it's hard for me to find too many flaws with Calvin and the way he handled things, because I think of all of the men, he's the one that's been disrespected the most. If I'm being honest, I think Zach deserved a lot of the criticism and second guessing he received early on, because Zach was who Zach was. Like, Zach was out in the streets. Zach was insecure. Zach didn't have the money. I won't say Zach was mooching, but Zach was jumping from Karen's house to Danny's house and everybody just to try to get by. So
he was trying to be somebody like a provider. He wanted to be that. There's a difference between somebody, when you said a mooch, somebody sitting on their ass, not doing anything, and just actually living off of a woman. Zach has a job.
No, you're right. You're right. You know what? Let me take that back. I can't say Zach was a mooch. You're absolutely right. I can't say he's a mooch. But what I will say is this, though. If you necessarily need a woman to put you in a position to be successful that you can't put yourself in, right? That's a dangerous place for any man to be in, because the minute that woman says she no longer wants to do this, what are you going to do? I feel like timing was the wrong issue for Karen. And to be honest, sometimes I get like heartbroken when I see some of the stuff people say about Karen, because we don't get the backstory, the 3 years prior when we watch Sisters, of what Zach put Karen through.
That's right.
So many people are just like, oh, Karen's wrong, Karen's this. Imagine 3 years of your life you've been trying to support a guy, and maybe you weren't the best with communication, but this guy hasn't been able to do the things that now he's doing for someone else. You're going to be upset. I don't want to hear no one say, like, Karen needs to just let it go.
Exactly. No. How? And let me just tune into this, because the thing about Karen, and y'all know how I feel about Ebony, so I'll be having a lot to say. The thing about Karen is, we don't get a chance to see the buildup. We only hear about it. She's also up against someone who is a lovable character. And I'm not talking about Fatima, I'm talking about Zach. Zach is a lovable character. He's funny, he's good looking, and he's lovable. You want to see him win because you've seen him down so much. He's riding a bike, like, we want him to win. And the other part about it is, women see themselves in Karen. They see the times where they put up with a man that they shouldn't have put up with. They see the times where they let him come back. Where they gave all their money and they feel stupid because now he with somebody else doing. These women have been through those things, and so it's triggering in a way where they're just like, Karen need to do this, and Karen is, to me, she also just does a fantastic job. I was trying not to go there, but she's great. And what she does, and that's why y'all really be feeling, you know what I mean? She's just really good at what it is, and it's so true. It's true. That thing is true. It is. A man who is getting better will never be better than he is now. If you're always striving to be better, then of course your past won't be as good as it was now. And so if you end up with someone different, they're gonna get the better you. That's absolutely. That's it's gonna be. And so, you know, poor Karen.
If I could change some things Zach did, right? The first thing I would do is, remember when the chick in the airport got pregnant or claimed she was pregnant?
Everybody pregnant for Zach.
Everybody pregnant for Zach. You already know it, right? But remember when Zach told Karen before he even knew if the girl was really pregnant? I would have never done that. I would have never done that. Now, I understand Zach trying to be upfront, but it's like, now you created doubt in a woman who already didn't believe in you. So then when Aaron comes along, you can't be upset that she wants to take a shot at trying to be with someone safe because you've just been all over the place for the past 3 years. If I were Zach, that would have been the one thing I think could have changed everything. Because remember, Karen was ready to take Zach back after she found out about the whole thing with him and Danny, and he confessed his love for Karen. And then right after that, Karen, what's her name at the airport, is pregnant. Then we have to divulge, well, how did she get pregnant, Zach? Yeah, I cheated with her when we were together. Okay. And you had unprotected sex. Yeah, okay. That right there is enough to make a woman be like, you know what? I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That would be the one thing I would change if I would never told her. I would have just found it on my own if the woman was pregnant, found out she was lying, and left it alone.
Yeah.
You know, but I will say this. I feel bad as hell for Aaron. Aaron can't do nothing. And because Karen is going to be in love with Zach.
Yeah.
I feel that there's one character I feel bad for. Now, Cheeto can go ahead. Cheeto, Gary can go ahead, because if that was my sister, I'd have put hands on Gary a long time ago. But Aaron, I feel bad for Aaron, bro.
Yeah.
Also,
same.
I'm going to piggyback something real quick off of what Brian said. I think this is for the viewers who watch it. Let's not, when they're like, oh, just let him go, let him go. They're looking at it from the outside in. And also, let's talk about aesthetics. The package that, okay, Zach, handsome guy, this, Trinity, Brian, all these characters on the show, handsome, beautiful. And so they're more willing to let some stuff slide when the package is nice looking. You feel me? So because there's some people in people's lives right now who are doing the same things that Zach did.
Absolutely.
They get dismissed so quick because it's not the package, because you can get away with,
absolutely.
If you got money, you can let some stuff slide. If you handsome, if your sex is good, all this stuff, you can get away with so much. So people are like, yo, give Zach a chance. And they're not even, they were willing to bypass all the stuff that Karen was saying just because of he's charming, he's funny, he's this. Girl, same as, same with Trinity's character, Rodeo. I remember I was talking to Danny one time, Mignon, and she was like, y'all not realizing he came into my house unannounced. But because Rodeo is like, oh my God, when people see him, they're like, girl, let that man cook you steak.
Well, let's be honest.
There's some of the women really want to.
That's what I'm saying.
I was about to say, Trinity, you can talk about this. If a man is coming to your house unannounced, respectfully, with steaks, ain't no women gonna have no problems with that. Now, some women who may have traumatic past, who don't like being dealt with unannounced, they may have an issue. But a man being deliberate about who he wants to be with and coming to cook and pay, remember, because Trinity also, Rodeo paid 3 months rent. So technically, that's his house. I done paid 3 months rent this month.
Hold up.
I'm coming.
Now to go technically,
so he paid the rent. So that's his house now.
Hey,
Trinity, that's your crib.
Hey,
hold the phone.
Hey, Brian, let me explain something to you now. I haven't been dating. I have not been dating for a while.
Yeah, 20 years.
I've been married. I've been in my relationship at 18. But let me explain something to you. I paid 3 months rent in this house. I ain't knocking on no doors. I ain't ringing no bells. You accepted my 3-month payment. You just said it's okay for you to come over whenever you want, baby. You paid. You ain't gonna tell me. You ain't gonna accept my money and tell me I gotta announce myself. Hell no, announce my money back. How about that? If you want to make rules for the house, you pay the rent.
Yeah, but that's the thing though. Yeah, like Danny act like Rodeo came in unannounced to rob her. You know what I'm saying? I'm in there throwing out.
But here's the thing. It goes back to like yes, Rodeo is like the all-around quintessential guy, but also too, your character is white. So there's the dynamic of a white man coming into my space, like the whole gal thing, like little stuff like that You know what I'm saying? But most women on Twitter, when I'm tweeting back, you know, when we're on Twitter, girl, you overthinking this. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody's problems there's certain things that will trigger somebody that won't trigger somebody else. So any other woman who will get up there and be like, I
see,
let a man come in and cook
why.
for me. There's also some women that be like, no. Just because you pay 3 months rent don't mean you own me, and you can't just come up in here. You know what I'm saying?
But see, look, that's why I love Twitter, because for every one person who side with Danny, it's 100 gonna side with Rodeo.
Facts.
So
I'm gonna say this
Facts.
though, it's also a thin line between coming to surprise a woman and showing her how much you care, and showing up at somebody's house unannounced, because that sounds like a predator, and it's not that. It's never been that. Like, it's never been that. And so we have to be able to identify like intentionality, right? Like, you can't just say somebody showed up at my house unannounced. This man has paid for you to live here.
Thank you.
But I don't think that it's his house after he paid the 3 months. But I will say, like, ain't nobody just showing up. The thing about it is, Danny, and there are women like this and men like this, is not used to the type of love,
and not ready
care,
and
attention that this man, who is an anomaly, is giving you. So something got to be wrong. I got to find something wrong, because I may not love myself enough to receive it.
And you know, I'm glad you said that, because one thing that I want to happen at some point in time is I want Preston to actually find out what happened with Danny to cause her to be this way, so he can better understand how he should go about handling things with her.
That's a good point. And then speaking to Mignon, which I think is a brilliant point on her part. If you are a white man and you are choosing to date a black woman, you have a responsibility to understand her culture, right? So, for example, the whole gal thing. A lot of people, that went over a lot of people's heads, because we as our own people don't know our own history.
Yep.
So if we don't know our own history, we oftentimes don't know what we should be offended by. So you do have young people in this demographic watching the show saying, I don't understand why she would be offended by being called gal. But if you understand the history of slavery and understand the history of the powerarchy that existed between white men and black women in America, you would understand that that word is a derogatory word used to downplay black women while hypersexualizing them and using them for their own affairs.
That's so true.
If you understood that, then you would be like, wow, Rodeo should know better.
That's right.
And this is what me and Mignon talked about. Mignon also, well, black women also have a responsibility, if you're going to date a white man, to understand them. So if you make a choice to date outside your race the same way he's making a choice to date outside his race, you both have to learn each other, but give each other grace to learn each other, because sometimes he's not going to get everything right. Sometimes she's not going to get everything right. And I think that's what we get a chance to watch when we watch this romance, is a white man who is from the country trying to date a city black woman. And sometimes he says things that's so country and so far-fetched from what city black women are used to. Danny's like, that's not okay. And I agreed with her on that. Like, that was a moment where you as a white man supposed to say, okay, I said something wrong. How can I fix it? Not downplaying, disregard what she says as, oh, it's just a word. That I agree with Mignon on that one. So
absolutely,
I think a lot more women, if they understand the history, they'll be able to be compassionate and say, okay, Danny's not tripping when it comes to that.
Yeah.
Exactly. Agreed.
Literally, gal was used to sell black women to slave owners. You know, like that's the description. And also, female cows. Like, it's just the whole thing. Like, it's so textured. It's so textured. The sisters just, you know, the more we talk about the different situations, you realize how the dexterity of this show is so textured. The interracial, the intersexuality, the socioeconomic, like all the different, you know, colors. It's just really, really a brilliant show. and a gift. There's no other show like Sisters.
None.
No other show like Sisters.
There isn't. And to be honest, you know, we don't like to brag about numbers, but we are the #1 rated television show on cable for the past 3 years.
Yep.
5 seasons.
Yep.
We've been that, but we've only been that because of the fans.
That's a fact.
And we trend every week on Twitter. Top 5. We trend every week on Twitter because of the fans, because they have invested in the stories.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's good to see, because I find myself having dialogue with people. A lot of people don't realize that when you're filming this show, you don't have time to read everybody's storyline because you're trying to get focused on what you're focusing on. So sometimes I'm watching and I'm like, dang, I didn't even know that was going on between the two. And then I end up having a dialogue with my friends, like, would you put up with that as a man? Or how do you feel as a woman? And I feel like this is probably the first show of its kind in this time that's had so much social media interaction as well as a ratings boost. Because, I mean, doing 1 million every week in 2022, when there's so much content, 1 million live
on
crazy.
A cable network. Yeah,
that's crazy. That's crazy.
Listen,
really
look,
crazy.
The fans, for me, that's what does it for me. That's one of my favorite parts of what we do is the fans, and I tell them all the time. And I don't know if sometimes they just think I'm saying it because, you know, I'm trying to promote the show. I want to come off with. When I say I love you guys as much as you love us, yes. I mean every word of it, every single word. And I see fans who are out and they want to come talk and they're nervous. And please don't ever do that when you see me. Because if I see you, I'm going to invite you over. Or I'm going to invite myself over because we owe you guys so much. And we were asked this on the red carpet about the fans. And I was just like, you know, if it wasn't for them, we would not. We're premiering season 5 because of the fans. Yes. But not only are we at season 5, but we're #1 since season 1. And it's all because of them. And so I couldn't thank them enough.
I don't
you
think
know, I
people
love
understand, like, first of all, how difficult and how hard it is to get a show. You know, to get a show, first of all.
Just about to
then for that show to be a success. In to prove that you just didn't catch your lightning in a bottle this one time, but 2 seasons, 3 seasons, 4 seasons, about to be 5 seasons tonight. Like that's like every actor's dream. First of all, to do something that you love and get paid handsomely for it and be able to take care of your loved ones. And that does not happen unless you all tune in. So you all have tuned in, showed up, tweeted, you know, everything, supported other projects that we've gone on to do just based on the love and support that you all have for Sisters. And I think for everybody on here and the rest of the cast that we love you and we wouldn't be here without you guys.
No, absolutely.
Yeah. It's we are so excited to be celebrating season 5 today, and that you guys will tune in and your continual support, even in the breaks when we come back, when we take the mid-season breaks, your support of each of our individual things, and you even being here watching this on here. We've been on here for 1 hour and 18 minutes. Like, you know, dedicating your time and your support to something in an industry where right now, you know, between streaming and cable, it's difficult to garner an audience. It's difficult to, especially a consistent one. You know what I mean? Like, we all have friends who are actors, and we watch them get on shows, and their shows go for a season and they're over, or go for a season or 2 and it's over. You know, and they're, you know, it's just such a blessing, and people don't understand how. Like Anthony, just to piggyback on what he said, man, like 5 seasons, that is unheard of. It's historic, and it is unheard of. We see the shows that have 5 seasons, we've entered the Different World chat, right?
Yeah.
The Cosby Show chat, the Family Matters chat, you know, the Grey's Anatomy, like, you know what I mean? Like, we're going the have-nots track, you know what I mean? Like, we are entering a league of television, that small amount of shows that make, you know, you get 4 and usually that's it, and that's a successful show, you know. And it's a blessing. And even to think, like, today is the 92nd episode of Sisters.
Woo!
The 92nd episode of Sisters. today, you know, and that's just like you go
Right.
from not doing TV at all to being able to say that you've done 90. You've been on a show that is 92 episodes of television.
That's what's up. I ain't gonna lie, that made me smile. I ain't gonna lie, that made me smile, man.
That's crazy. And so what a blessing it is that we've gotten this opportunity that Tyler has provided and that God has provided for Tyler to give us the opportunity and for you guys providing us the opportunity to continue to come back and watch this one so we can come back again. Watch the next one so we can come back again. And we continue to give you guys what you want, to make you feel, to make you laugh, cry, and scream, and, you know, enjoy yourselves and pull you into our worlds, because this is our gift. You know, like, we have a gift and a job and a duty to be vessels to the people, and you guys are providing us with that, which I don't even know how much I can say about it. Like, it's 92. How?
That's
like,
crazy. That's crazy. I will say this though. If you watch tonight at 9 o'clock, your TV won't be sideways like Brian's phone right now.
Let me just say this. Maybe their TV will be sideways.
If your TV sideways, you need to configure some things in your life. Okay?
Let me just.
If I walk in your house and you got a sideways TV, you need to start thinking about what.
One thing Sisters has taught me, especially through playing the character of Maurice, who's very different than I am, is everybody doesn't have the same view. And when you have a monolithic view of things one way,
so wait,
my God, you have to be able to do things. You have to be able to meet people where they are.
You know what? You're right. And I'm gonna do that, and I'm gonna meet people where they are outside, because I gotta take my kids to football practice.
God bless you guys so much. Thank you for watching. Sister Devale has
absolutely,
and he's doing whatever he can to hurt me. And I hope you guys catch this. Somebody record this. Devale has done whatever he could to hurt me today.
No, stop.
No, it's okay. I'm hurt. And so, yeah, I love everybody here except Devale, and I hope that we can continue to bring you guys great content.
What I do?
And God bless y'all. We're gonna end this thing. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah.
I love y'all.
We love you.
y'all.
Sisters, tonight.
9 o'clock tonight. I'll see y'all. And right after that at 10 o'clock, catch a sneak peek as a teamer. Pow, 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 baby.
Pow, pow, pow. Sneak peek as a teamer. Sisters at 9. Watch it. Live tweet. Love y'all.
Love y'all, boys.
Hey.
With my kids.